over there in social media land. Yes, indeed. We are here again on another episode of the Question Live Show with your host, the one and only Verona Willis-Brown. That is moi. Yes, yes, I am here. Yes, I am here. It is Tuesday, and for some of you, it is Wednesday. So it is good evening, good night, good afternoon, and good morning. Just good day to you, whether you're just waking up or whether you're having lunch, dinner, or breakfast. Whatever the case is, it is a beautiful day. Yes, indeed, it is a beautiful day because here we are on another episode of the Question Live Show. This is a show where we come on in and we teach and we learn and we grow together. We come on in here because this is a safe space where you come on with your book, your story, your event, and all that good stuff, and we talk about it. Yes, we talk about it. So we have the tendency where we just don't talk about a lot of things. But here we talk about a lot of things because guess what? When we talk about a lot of things and we celebrate a lot of things, it is supporting each other. And our main purpose here on this channel is to support each other. We stand on that. We stand on that belief. We stand on that mantra that when we support each other, we will grow better. And not only that we will grow better, but we will grow stronger. The more we are together, the more we shake our hands together, the more we work together, the more we join forces together, we will become a stronger set of people. So that will always be the message here. Listen up, listen up. When we work apart and we want to work selfishly, think selfishly, we are very weak set of people. You see, we get maneuver when we are weak. But when we are strong, let me tell you something, when we are strong, and I'm going to talk about it real quick, that when we're strong, and we get somebody in our corner. And when we have somebody in our corner, somebody's going to jump in and defend, somebody's going to come in and support, somebody's going to come in and like, I got you, compliment you, and all that good stuff. I'm going to tell you this real quick for those of you who are tuning in for the first time. I mean, absolutely your first time. You've never been on this channel before. You've never heard of the Question Live Show before. You just never heard of Verona Willis-Brown. Well, tell you what, today is your day. Today, I welcome you with open arms and I say, come on in this room. Come on in here. Let me give you some of the love that I have bubbling up inside of me. Come on in here. Let me just ignite your passion so what we could work together. It is a togetherness party over here. So if this is your first time, I mean, absolutely first time. If this is your first time tuning in, I want you to just wave in the comment section, or you can put me in the comment section, and you put me in the comment section, or, you know, just like first timer in the comment section. I would like to see that in the comment section so I could acknowledge your presence. Oftentimes we go through life, and when we go through life, we don't get acknowledged, but we get accepted. There is a difference between getting accepted and being acknowledged, because you could get accepted because, hey, I'm here. You see me. This is my lifestyle. This is me. This is my color. This is my culture. You accept it. Why? Because it is blending in, right? It is a part of society. But oftentimes we don't get acknowledged for us as individuals, because when we get acknowledged as individuals, collectively we become better. So when you come on in this room as a first timer, I don't want you to be in the back looking in. Okay, that's good too. But I would like to let you know that I see you. We don't want to go through life and nobody see us. Right? Because when nobody sees us, nobody acknowledges us, then we can't get the help that we need. And when I tell you that we need help, we need help. Therefore, we should ask for help, because that is the problem, right? The problem is that we don't ask for help. We know deep inside of us that we need help, but we don't ask for it. Good. So when you come on in here, the problem is some people just come on in, they peep through a little window and they just laugh. Or the people in the window like, oh, I'm just back here. But I wouldn't know that you're back there. I would like to know that you're here, because here we like to interact, okay? because this is not a monologue. This is a dialogue. So when I see you come on in, I see you wave to me, I see you greet me, listen to me. It's called having respect. If you go to somebody's house, you don't just go at the door and sit by the door or sit by the window and stare in. You come on in or you knock on the door, they open the door. If you are welcome, you are welcome. It's like, welcome to my home, right? So you don't go to somebody's house and just sit by the door and twiddle your thumb and say, oh, I'm just gonna sit here and go put my ears to the wall and go to listen what's going on. No, that is not respectable. It is not respectable. So it's the same concept. If in person you are going to somebody's house, listen to their walls, listen to their window, listen to their door, and you're not saying, hi, I'm outside. Would you like to let me in? I'm here. I just came to say hi. I just came to see how you're doing. Yeah, it's the same thing that when you come here, I want to know how you're doing. So if I ask a question in the audience, how y'all doing, somebody should be able to answer me. But if you're in the back, just like, I won't be able to acknowledge your presence. So good. So if this is your first time, please come on in here and say hi to me so I could say hi to you. With respect, we have a lot of respect up in here. My daddy said we should have respect. And my mama said you can't go nowhere without having respect. It doesn't matter how many degrees you have, okay? It doesn't matter how many letters attached to your last name. My mother told me you cannot get nowhere in this life if you don't have respect, manners, and respect, as we would say. So a little bit about me for those of you who are tuning in for the first time. I like to introduce myself each time there's a first timer because, of course, you've never been here before. So I like to introduce myself. I am your host. My name is right there, Verona Willis-Brown. I am your host. I've been the host of this show for the past 11 seasons, and we are rolling into our 36th episode. Yes, indeed, our 336th episode. A little bit more about me. I am a native of the most beautiful place in the world. I'm being biased. I am from the most beautiful place in the world, and that is Jamaica. If you don't have a Jamaican friend, right now is your time to get a Jamaican friend. If you're not related to any Jamaican, yeah, today's the day. If you got 2% of Jamaican in your blood, then activate that. Activate it. Because we Jamaican, we are doing some stuff out here, okay? We like to do something, we extra, as they would say, we extra. So, and that's fine. We're fine. Because you see, it's when you are ordinary and you got extra from ordinary, now you become an extraordinary and you do extraordinary things, right? Because we are ordinary people. Yeah, Jamaicans are ordinary people. We just do extra stuff. So what? When we do extra stuff, it is extraordinary things, right? Ordinary people do extra things. It's called extraordinary. So that is about me. No, wait, one more thing about me. I like to brag. I like to brag about my parents. Yes, indeed, because I'm carrying their legacy as I build mine. I'm carrying their legacy on my shoulder, on my back, on my head, on my heart, everything. I'm carrying their shoulder like a baby. I'm carrying their shoulder. Why? The reason why I celebrate my parents at every move that I make, every milestone that I create, I celebrate my parents. Why? Because I am from a farmer's background. I was born on a farm, a literal farm. For those of you who don't know, a literal farm, I could go outside and grab me a fruit off the tree. I could see my mama planting something and I'm like, hey, we're here to reap this thing, okay? So I'm from a literal farm where you see the cows and the cat and the dog and the rat and the goats and all that stuff. Yes, I'm from, and the pigs. So yes. So I'm from the farm. So I like to talk about my parents because when I talk about a farmer's background, honey, hello. Hey, a farmer's background is where you plant a seed or a grain and you wait for it to grow. And when it grows, it springs up into something. And when it springs up into something, it's because it's come from a fertile ground. Yes, indeed. I watch my parents dig the ground, watch the ground, water the ground, maintain it, and produce a seed. But let me tell you, one of the seed that they produce is producing, okay? Produce to reproduce and keep on producing. And that seed is more. Hey, I have to brag about me. Yes, indeed. I brag about me in a very humble way. Because the seed that they planted, was more, and I grew up into being your host. And not only your host, but a lot of things. But today is not the day for me to bombard you with all the other accomplishments that I am still accomplishing. Because what? I give thanks. So this is for the newbie people. Newbie people, I want to let you know that I'm from a huge family. I'm from an absolutely huge family. Simply mean more than 5 of us up in there. More than 10 of us up in this family. And when you come on up in it as a new person, I like to welcome you and include you in my family. Now my family gets huger. Huge is a word. If it is not, then it is a word now. My English teacher would snap me upside my head and say, excuse me. But whatever the case is, as you go through life, you get to make up stuff. As you go through life, you create things. Because I'm a co-creator of God, I get to create things, right? So now when you come out in this family, you expand the family. And now we have a huger family than what I had, right? My biological family, huge. Now you come in as a new person. Now you expand the family. And I welcome you with open arms. You get virtual hugs. And I send love and life your way and say, come on in here. Let us get into meeting the other family members that been with us for the past how many episodes. Some been with us for a while, some been us 200 episodes. Whatever the case is, the problem is the problem. Okay, the problem is the problem. So we want to solve some problem tonight, right? So what is the problem? We gonna know what is the problem when we get into the problem, right? But anywho, we see a lot of families don't join force with each other. That's one problem. But anywho, for those of you, if this is your second, third, fourth, fifth, anytime after first, simply mean you are a returning artist. If you are a returning artist, I want to say to you, I welcome you. I welcome you because you know when you show, we show up together. And when we show up together, what is going to happen? We ignite each other and we allow each other to grow and we support each other. The more we support each other, the stronger we will be. Why? Because whether you are new or whether you're a returning audience, we are all on a journey called life. Yes, indeed. And on that journey called life, we got paths, little paths. Your path, my path, everybody's having a path on there. Whatever your story are, it is a path. We're creating a path, but somewhere along those paths, we are going to cross paths. You heard this before, that we cross paths somewhere. So we are going to cross path in this life. When we do that, what is going to happen? We are going to either break down, build up, expand, something going to happen. So, but what we do here on this show, we like to build up. We like to support. Because what happens? Everybody on this journey called life, even the baby that was born a minute ago, got a purpose and a destiny. Whatever the time is, it don't matter at this point. We got a purpose and destiny to fulfill. We all want to have a success story. You don't believe me? Ask yourself if you don't want to have a success story. And that's what life is about. Life is about creating a success story, building a success story. And as we build a success story, we will all define success differently. Absolutely different. Your definition of success might be different from mine. Mine is different from yours. So guess what's going to happen? We all going to blend in our success story and voila, we are going to replenish the earth. Why? Because that's what God created us to do. To be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. Let me remind you or inform you that absolutely nobody can succeed by themselves. Nobody. It doesn't matter what position you are in right now, what position you are seeking right now. You cannot get there by yourself. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. Whether you are the president, the vice president, the governor, the mayor, the teacher, the student, the lawyer, the doctor, engineer, pilot, it doesn't matter. Mechanic, whatever position you find yourself in, even a student and a teacher, even the patient, you did not get there by yourself. And if you are a patient, you need the doctor. And what? The doctor need the patient. If you are a teacher, you need the student need a teacher. Guess what happened? So you see the equation add up? We need each other. Yes, indeed. You see, God said we must be fruitful and multiply. So we like to say on this show that we believe in multiplication. We don't believe in division. We believe in multiplication. Sometimes you got to do a little subtraction, but multiplication is the key. When we multiply, the value goes up. When we multiply, everything increases higher. And we are in a season of abundance. We are in a season of overflow. We are in a season of overdrive. Therefore, we must have this mentality that we must multiply and replenish the earth. We hear this before. Replenish the earth. If you have not, know you hear it right here on this show. When we are talking about replenish the earth, we are not talking about you go and you just have a biological child or children or so, like my parents who were fruitful and multiply in that manner. When we are saying be fruitful and multiply, we are talking about you go inside of yourself, you gather your gifts, you gather your talents, your intention, your expectation, your goals, your dream, your vision, and you combine that with another person by crossing paths with that other person, and you work together. And that is what replenishing the earth simply means. You're taking your gifts, you're taking your talent, and you're putting it and you're saying, this is where I want to plant my seed. Maybe you want to develop into this, that. Maybe you want to play the piano. Hey, maybe you want to build a house. You can't build a house by yourself. Therefore, the gifts and the talent that you have to build a house, you need somebody else to draw this for you. You need somebody else to paint it for you. Maybe you can build a house, but you are not good with painting the house. Therefore, you need a painter to paint the house when you're finished. Get it? So we need each other. Life is about us working together. Let us get this concept and get it like today. If we are not getting this concept in this 27th day or 28th day of August 2024, then we need to have a restart. We need to go and press the restart button, press the bounce back muscle, and then gather up ourselves, get in tune with ourselves, reevaluate ourselves so what we can rebuild that which is torn down, right? So we want to get this together. Good. Now that we got that out of the way, I want to let you know that on this show, yes, your host. I use F word. I do. I use F word on this show. And the F word that I use on the show, they're very, very simple. And I mean, you probably say, oh, there's one F word. No, there's not one F word. I use three. I use three F words on the show. And there are three F words that say faith, fun, and family. Yes. So whichever F word that you were thinking, honey, I don't know what you were thinking, but whatever it is, no, we use three over here. Three. Faith, fun, and family. Yes, indeed. Whether we are saying them or we are applying them, it is on this show. It is in this space. Why? Because it is my faith that allowed me to come here for 336 episodes to be your host. It is the faith that allowed me to say, hey, girl, come on out of yourself and get going and find your purpose. And look, it is a faith that I believe something was greater than me that allowed me to say, I'm going to be the host of this show. It is the faith that allowed me that when I get up in the morning, I say, oh, Lord, I got to face the people again. Listen, it is the faith that allowed me to remember that which I look at, especially show hosts like Oprah Winfrey. It is the fact that allowed me to look into myself and say, you did admire these people. You did admire them. You did say you would like to be on the other side of the screen. Let me tell you something. Dreams don't expire. If you do have a dream, keep on working on it. Keep on working on it until it becomes reality. Because it is the very dream that I had that I want to be on the other side of the screen. I want to be on the other side of the screen to pour into some people. Yes, indeed. And here I am, right? So let me tell you, dreams don't expire. And the next F word that we use family. You hear I talk about it. That I came from a huge family. I mean huge. Huge. But what happened when we came from a huge family? We have a lot of birthdays. Yes, we do. We have a lot of celebration, a lot of something, a lot of baby born. We have a lot of achievements. You know, we have a lot of something. That's not a problem. The problem is a lot of times, sometimes our family too big that we don't get to see each other. All right, that's one of the problems. But anywho, because our family is so big, I'm going to tell you. Come on in here. I do have the permission to talk about my family. I do. I have the permission to talk about my family right here. So come on in here so you can listen close to what I'm saying about my family. Let me tell you something about my family. My family is very huge. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I'm on the bottom of the list. I'm on the bottom, but even though I'm on the bottom, I'm like the spokesperson for the family. Yeah. Figure that out. That sometimes is the problem. Okay. But anywho, we have birthdays every single month. I mean, every month, starting literally from January 1st all the way to December, we have birthdays. Yes, we do. So like here If it's your birthday, we like to celebrate you because we celebrate birthdays every single month. We got babies born, we got graduation, we got all this stuff going on in my family. So because you are now here watching me, you're listening, whatever you are doing, if it's your first time, second time, don't matter what time, the fact that you are here, whether you're on live or replay, you are now a part of this family. So guess what we go to? The next F word. The next F word is fun, darling. Yes, indeed. We like to have fun up in here because when I come up in here to have fun, I do have a cheerleading squad. Yes, indeed. I have a cheerleading squad that will come on up in here and we have fun. Why? Because we like to celebrate. We like to celebrate over here. Whether it is a small win, big win, large win, huge, whatever it is, we like to celebrate. So whether it is your birthday, your anniversary, your boo's birthday, your boo's somebody something, your neighbor's birthday, your children's birthday, your country celebrating something, your country achieved something, somebody in your country, your leader, somebody in your country that you know, that you're familiar with, and you want to highlight them, we say, come on in here, tell us about it. So what? We could celebrate you because when we celebrate, it is a form of support and it is support that will get us somewhere. You see, when I come up in here, I don't come by myself. I have my cheerleading squad. We cheer you on. Whether you having a baby, you had a baby, you met a boo, you got proposed, you got married, all that good stuff, you made an extra step in developing yourself. We like to celebrate you. Whether you went back to school, your child graduated from school, we like to celebrate you. Whatever the case is, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you published a book. We would like to celebrate it. Maybe you made the first step into writing a book. We like to celebrate you as well, right? So whatever the case is, we like to celebrate. That is how we get our fun on in here. Every now and then we jump in and we have more fun. So whatever fun you want, we gonna do it. Because I told you, I'm not by myself. No, I got a cheerleading squad right here. Yes, we do. We say, yeah, we celebrate you. Oftentimes we go through life and we don't get celebrated. May I tell you something? Come on in here. Come on in here. May I tell you this? That the first person to celebrate is not your mama, is not your daddy, it's you. You must celebrate yourself at every step that you make to accomplish something. Celebrate yourself first. Yep. Celebrate yourself first. Anything that you achieve, you must celebrate yourself. We are all about positivity over here. So if you accomplish something very positive, celebrate yourself. Hey, treat yourself if you have to. Whatever the case is, reward yourself. Me, yes, I do. I tell you something, I like to talk about me. I like to talk about me and my story of growing up because that's me. I don't want nobody else to talk about me. Nope, because nobody will tell my story better than I do. So I like to talk about me because I tell you something. If you are new, you're going to know it now. That I oftentimes tell my audiences, I told my audiences over and over, that raising my daughter, yes, I'm a mom, raising my daughter. I did a lot of things, and I like to share some of the strategic things that I did to raise my daughter. I did a lot of strategic things. I share a lot of strategic ways how to help her develop her vocabulary over here. So if you are new and you don't know, there are a lot of strategic ways to develop your children's vocabulary. Yes. But beside that, I want to talking about celebrate. What I used to do with my daughter, I used to reward her. But what I used to do, I used to give her incentives to go to school. Anybody giving incentives? Everybody giving incentives. If you are a teacher, this is your good time to give incentives to your students. Give them incentives. For those of you who will get 80 and above, that is what you say. Okay? No, I used to reward my daughter. I'm like, hey, you get 80 and above, we good. All right. Below 80 is unacceptable. We don't do no below 80 up in here. Okay. Because no, we go by letter A, B, C. C mean you can do better. We don't do C. We don't do that. We don't do that. Right. A mean you accomplish something. We want to get with the A. Go with the A. Better luck next time is B. Right. So we want to use these things and say, hey, you got to be B. Better luck next time. Be better next time. Moving on right on up and accomplish the thing. Okay. So I used to reward my daughter. So my daughter look forward. Sometimes you give them a little $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 for each 100. Can you imagine how much money you get for each 100? Each time you get a vocabulary word and vocabulary spellings and homework and all that stuff. Can you imagine if I say, hey, for each time you get 100 on your spelling, you're going to get $20. Woo-wee! Who don't want $20? Let me tell you something. Raising my daughter $20 was a lot of money. Okay, so if you're giving a child $20 right now to get all the spelling words correct, let me tell you, they might tell us not a lot of money, but it's a lot of money. If they ain't got a job, it's a lot of money. Okay, good. Now that we got it out of the way, the problem is, you see what we're talking about, the problem is obviously is a problem to the problem. Okay, and we multiply the problem. And when we multiply the problem, there's a bigger problem. So we don't want to have the problem, we want to have a solution to the problem. Get it? Get it. Good. Know that we got that. We got it. As the problem today is children are ungrateful. We don't want ungrateful children, whether you're a student or biological children. Please let us work on the mentality of to be grateful. Grateful for the small things, big things, whatever it is, especially to your parents. Children out there, be grateful to your parents. Indeed, indeed, indeed. So let me tell you something. It is very important that we understand that gratefulness is not just an attitude. Gratefulness is the only attitude that will get you somewhere else. You got to be grateful. You got to be grateful. Be grateful to your parents. In the audience, I want to take a moment before we go. What is the problem? What is the problem? Because the problem is the problem. Okay. We want to welcome inside the audience. I see Sharon. Sharon is a VIP. Who is a VIP? A VIP is someone who come on in here with an intention and expectation and take action. When you take action, now you get elevated and you get promoted up to be a VIPer. Yes, indeed, a VIPer is a word. If you don't know, now you know that it is a word. Create a word if you want. But I have a good relationship with words. So yes, I do create one. And it's called a VIPer. Now, you heard the VIP before, but now when you get in on this space and you take action, and when you take action, you earn the badge of a VIPer. Absolutely. So we have a VIP shirt up in here. So indeed, the beautiful and the one and only. One and only, darling. The only one and only. There's no competition and there's no comparison. None at all. So let me tell you something. It is very important that we understand that when we show, we are showing with the mentality that we are not competing. Let me tell you something before we go. The problem is we compete too much. What is the problem? The problem that we competing with each other for no apparent reason. None apparent. I am one, Shirley's one, everybody just won. We won by ourselves. There is no competition. I grew up with this competitive mindset that I have to come first. You know what I'm saying? I have to be the top student. And the year that I didn't become the top student, that became a problem. So you see, there's a problem for a problem, and a problem become a problem. Okay? So you get it? Right. Oh my goodness, I see one of my lovely sister, M. Kelly. Hey, how are you? How are you? How are you? How are you doing? How are you doing over there? Namaste, namaste. How are you doing? How are you doing? Casejo. It's so good to see you. So good to see you. So good to see you here today. So good to have you here today. Yes, indeed. So let me tell you something. Don't make no comparison, because the problem today, we are competing too much. We are competing too much against nothing. Okay? Because why would you compete against me? And my talents and my gifts are different from yours. Why would you compete against me when I am different? You see, we see this, that Jamaica always run. You know, we're known for running, and fastest women and men in the world, fastest men and women in the world. So they come with a competitive mentality, and I'm telling you, it's something that was engraved in us, that we must compete. In school, we had the competitive mentality that we must be the top student at all time. But let me tell you something. I'm a youth mentor, and what I do with my youth, you can learn this lesson as well. I will let my youth I will tell my youth, guess what? Now you tell yourself that you're coming first in class. Hello? So if everybody starts telling themselves that they're going to be the top student in the class, you see, there's no competition. But what's going to happen? We are going to accomplish that which we were created to create, right? We are going to create that, because the problem is we tend to have children competing with another child. And when we're competing with another student and we're competing with that, what is happening? Everybody's potential is different. Purpose cannot die. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. Yes, indeed. Let me tell you something. When we are in class and parents with more than one, you tend to do this with your children as well. And that is a problem as well. You're comparing your children. Do not compare your children. This one potential might be this, and this one potential might be that. Do not compare your children. Like, share, and invite somebody to come on into this live, because we want to get to the problem. Because the problem is a bigger problem when we don't know the problem, right? So we want to adjust the problem because we want a solution before the show is finished. We are going to get to the problem because we multiply the problem and the problem get bigger. So when we have children, we tend to make comparison. Oh, you're not smart as this one. Mary's not smart as John. John is not smart as Mary. Sarah's not smart as Sterling. No, we're not doing that because everybody developed differently. Everybody got different gifts and different talent. I might be good in maths. Let me tell you something. That was never my favorite subject. No, math was never my favorite subject. I always loved English. Okay? But you can't compare me and say, Susie is this, Johnny is that. No, because at the end of the day, every single year since I started preschool, I was always the top student in the class. So you see, it's not about me not liking math. It's not about me saying math was my favorite subject. It's the potential that I had. It is the talent that I developed. It is the education that I had. And it is the support of my family that allowed me to sit in a classroom, stay focused, and achieve that position as the top student all the way. I mean, all the way. I held that position all the way. You think I'm lying? I could find me one of my preschool classmates and she will tell you, I was always like that. And the moment somebody say, ooh, you are not the top student, oh, that crushed me. So you see what happened? Because now they had me right there competing so much against this one girl that at the end of the day, there was no competition. Because my smart was different from her smart. My brilliance was different from hers. So we got to understand that we have to, the problem is we have to sit there. We must do this, especially when we have 1, 2, or 3, whatever amount of children we have. We got to understand their capacity to learn is different. And that is the problem. We don't believe that their capacity is different. Their capacity to grasp something is different from their classmate. No two people are alike. We are the same and different at the same time. Anybody get it? Anybody get it? Anybody get it? And that is the problem. What is the problem? Nobody's seen that we are the same, but we are different. Does that make sense? Anybody? Does it make sense? If it makes sense, put in the comment section that it makes sense. We are the same, but we are different at the same time, right? So when we are making comparison, when we are competing, when we're supposed to complete the assignment that is given to us, our God-given assignment is to fulfill our destiny. Our God-given assignment is to find our purpose, bring it in place, and working. See, our VIPSS, purpose cannot and will not die. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So many people say, oh, I've been through this. Oh, I've been through that. Hello, I am so sorry that you had to go through all that trauma. Everybody went through something. Everybody. Some trauma is just worse than some. And guess what happened? When we go through this trauma, and you survive, honey, that means they're going to kill your purpose. And even if, no matter what, okay? Because maybe, I just say maybe, when they believe that they abuse you and they hurt you and they do all these things to you, maybe they think that they're going to kill your purpose, but they can't kill your purpose. You see, it's right here. Purpose will never and can never die because purpose is solely in our DNA. Why? Because when God created us, he put inside of us, in our DNA, our purpose. It lies in the, and he said, I set you out there for you to be on this earth, fruitful, multiply. Simply means multiply that which I gave you. Because when you multiply that which is inside of you, what is going to happen? It is going to increase. And now you show up, you make an impact, because you see, I'm not here to impress nobody. I'm here to make an impact. So when we show up with that mentality, we are making an impact. And when we make an impact, simple means what? Like my parents, they plant a seed. So you plant a seed or a grain. And when you plant a seed or a grain, because once you survive everything that somebody tried to take you out with, once you survive that, you now have the strength to plant. You now have the strength to pour in. You now have the strength to maintain. You now have the strength to grow. You now have the strength to say, hey, I see beside me a tree. And now you shall stand, because what happened? What happened? Oftentimes, we only see the hurting part. We only see the hurting part of our story. And oftentimes, when we see the hurting part of our story, we'll forget that we are strong, that we can push through that hurt. Yes, it hurt. What pain? Listen to me, people. What pain don't hurt? I'm yet, because see, my daughter said this many years ago, that they need to develop a painless needle. I wonder, any doctors out there, did y'all develop that yet? Painless needle, that when you going in to take your children and they're getting that needle, please don't let the needle look. And if you have not developed it, I give right now, I'm saying it out boldly. I'm saying, doctors out there, I'm saying this out boldly to you, that if you don't have a painless needle, time to develop one. We should not be having the same thing going around and around in a circle, okay? And let us consider having a needle looking a bit different, especially for children. You don't know? Children get traumatized. That's the fact that they see a needle. I mean, I don't like needles either. But for children, when you get traumatized as a child, you grow up with a mentality with, oh, the traumatic event that happened to you, okay? So again, if you have not developed this, just know that it's right here, I'm saying it. Develop a needle that don't look so visible, okay? That don't look so threatening, that don't look so painful, that don't look like I'm going to hurt you. I am a doctor, I'm about to take care of you, okay? So developers, here you go. Go out there and create that. So babies today don't grow up with such trauma to say that they don't want to go to the doctor because doctor is going to hurt them and all that stuff. Right? Good. So now you let me see. The problem is, what is the problem? Ask the problem. What is the problem? The problem is there's always a problem to another problem, and the problem turns into another problem. And then when we're trying to treat that problem, we add another problem. Hello, somebody getting it? Are you getting it? Sharon, are you getting it? M. Kelly, are you getting it? So we don't want to add a problem to a problem and create another problem, because when we create another problem, we are increasing the problem, and then we got to create something so we don't have a problem. Right? So when we're asking what is the problem is that we are adding on to the problem and we're creating a bigger problem. So if the problem is there and we are creating something to cause another problem, we are increasing the problem, which we don't want problems. No, we don't want problems up in here. No. We don't want no problems. You see? We want solution. So if you're going through something and you are using the same method or the same strategic way, and you realize that it's still a problem, simply means that it's a problem that you're using the same strategic way, okay? If you're using a problem way to solve a problem, you're not going to solve the problem. Anybody out there? Yes. If you're understanding this problem situation, please put it in here because it is problematic, okay? We don't want problematic incidents to keep on going. We don't want generations to come and keep on coming into problems, because we who got to this far, we should be carving out the way so their path could be a little bit smoother, right? So we don't want generations to come and say that they're walking in problems. Because when they're walking in problems, simply mean our handprints, our heartprints, and our footprints didn't leave a path clear enough for them to follow. So we want to be the problem solver. We want to have some form of problem. We don't want to add problems to them. Okay? So we don't want to add problems to problem and create a bigger problem. Anybody out there? If there's a problem right now, how do we solve these problems? Hello, somebody, if you are in a position as a problem solver, what is the solution you want to ask to somebody who's going through a problem? Because there's a problem every day. Every time we get up, we look on social media. We look at the television, there is a problem. There is a problem going on in every corner of the world. How many corners? Four. Four corners of the world. East, west, north, and south. Four corners. Whether south, east, whatever. East, west, north, and south. Four corners of the earth. Now, if we look at four corners of the earth, one way or the other, we are connecting to the four corners of the earth. Simple mean We are seeing a problem. There is a problem in those four corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. There is a problem, okay? So when we look at that, what is going to happen? When we look at that, we want to make sure that we are adding some solution to the problem, right? We want to add some solution to the problem. And when we add solution to the problem, what is going to happen? We will have less of problems. So whatever you add in a problem, my less of problem won't get bigger than the problem that you added, right? We don't want to multiply problem. No, I told that we believe in being fruitful and multiply so we could grow. We don't want to grow in problems. So this is where we come on in and we say, what is the multiplication problem? What is the math problem? We go in school, we say, today we have no math problem. What is the math problem? You see, the problem that I had with math is that it looked so complex. I don't like things to complex me. There was another reason why I went and I wrote my last book, Conversing at Night, because I don't like too much stuff that's complex. Okay, I don't like complex. For me, complex look as if it's chaos. So I don't like problem, and that was my problem in school, that I didn't like math. I said math is a problem. Mathematics, just the word mathematics sound like it's a problem because what? It's so big. Mathematics, like, whoo, Lord of mercy, who can pronounce that word? If you can pronounce that word with ease, go ahead. But, and I believe that's why they're like, that's a big word. So they start saying math, the math class, okay? Because mathematics was too big. That was the problem. So now when you see that as a problem, you bring it down, you come with a solution and say, excuse me, no, we don't want nobody to try to say they can't go to mathematics class because mathematics now sound like it's a big word. So the problem is we are creating a problem on top of the problem, and what happened? We get a bigger problem, right? So I didn't like math. I know mathematics was never my subject because it was looking too complex. You got to multiply, and anybody remember doing long division, and you divide by this, and you do that, and you draw this thing that way, and that divide by that, and cross that off, and all sort of stuff. That was a lot going on, a lot going on, right? And then when you multiply 500 by 500, and then you're gonna cross up the zero, and it was a lot going on. And then we learned the 2 times table and the timetable. Anybody remember that? Don't let me talk by myself and believe it's only me. I know it's not only me. Oh, yeah, no. For those who don't know, I usually have to get out my fan at some point. I usually have to get out my fan. I do have a new fan. For those of you who don't know, I have to get out my fan every so often. Yes, I do. I have to get up my fan every so often, and it's been 80. They had a heat advisory there. So that was it. And I have a new fan now. So yeah, but I'm not going to get it. But anywho, listen to me. Anybody remember this? Anybody, come on up in here. Share the life. Anybody remember this? Anybody remember doing the timetable? The timetable was so complex, Lord of mercy, 2 times 1 and 2 times 2 and just to say, it was so complex. 2 times 1 and 2 times 2 and 2 times 3. Can you imagine? Oh, that was a problem. That was a problem for me. Like we saying too much. We were just saying, me, I was just like, I'm saying too much on this. 2 times 1, and then we start going into a singing mode, and they start making it a little bit easier, right? It's becoming a little bit easier when we start singing it, right? And then we start beating, and then we start making a little rhythm to it, and it starts becoming a little bit easier. But then when we start multiplying past 2 at a single digit, and we start going up 10 times 1, right? And we start multiplying 10 times 10 and all that good stuff. And then we learn 2 to 12, okay? It was 2 to 12 times, but you can multiply past 12. The problem is that we get to pause. But the problem is that we get to restart. The solution that we get to restart, okay? The problem is that we stop somewhere along the line, and we get so used to stopping that we don't know that there is a solution and there's a restart button. Yes, that's the problem. The problem is we should not just stop on the way. The problem is that we must continue to support the problem is we should not just start doing something and just stop doing it just like that. Okay? The problem is We often get so hyped up and we're like, yeah, we got it, we got this, we got this. And then all of a sudden, you don't got it. You don't got it. Okay? The problem is we pause and we stop along the way too quickly. We don't want to stop on the way too quickly when there is a solution at the end. You see, oftentimes what I do, well, let me tell you something. Oftentimes what we do when we stop, well, let me tell you something. You got to learn to see the end result 1st. You don't know? You got to see the end result first, okay? We can restart. The problem is that we don't believe that we can. Absolutely. And we can. We can and we will. And the thing is, Cheryl, that when we believe that we can't, because let me tell you something about this, Cheryl. You see, we were not built on the can't. We were not built on the can't and the don't and the do. We were not built for that, because the more we use the word can't, is the more we should develop in our mind that we can. Because if you are a parent, right? If you are a parent, Cheryl is a parent. If you are a parent, you know that when you tell a child, don't do something, that's the time that they're going to do it. So we were not built with the don't and the can. When you tell them they can't do something, is the more they're going to force themselves to do it. So the more, and we grow up with this mentality, like, oh, you told me I can't do it? No, I'm going to do it. Because then you get a bigger passion, and you go on up in there like, no, I'm going to do it. No, I'm going to do it. You can't do that. No, I'm going to do it. So can't is not the thing. And that is the problem, Cheryl. That is the problem. That is the problem. The problem is that we don't believe that we can. And the solution to that is that we can. We can. Because I want you to read, because I see things in so many different ways, Cheryl, and those of you who are tuning in, I see things differently. And I'm going to show you that the solution is always at the end. The solution is at the end. And when we start seeing as a result of the solution, bring it up forward, we would understand that we can do so much of what is limited to us, because the problem is we are limited by society, right? The problem is when we are limited by society, the society is going to add another problem, and then we set another limitation, and then there's another problem to that limitation, and then that limitation gets bigger, and the problem is getting bigger. But I want to show you something. I want to illustrate something to you right here, Sharon, with Cheryl's statement. Everybody, please pay attention to this statement, because I'm going to put it on the screen again. Pay attention to this thing, because what is the problem? We don't want to pay attention to the very thing that is being taught to us. You see, it's not because I'm a genius that makes me the brightest student in class. I don't want to be the only one as a genius in class. I don't want to be the only one as a genius here. I don't want to be the only one as a brilliant person. I don't want to be the only one. I want you to know that you are a genius too. I want you to know that you are brilliant too. I want you to know that you can seek wisdom as well. I want you to know that the same opportunity that I have and I have, you have the same opportunity. Why? Because we all get 24 hours a day. So my 24 hours is used up, right? Used up. So use up your 24 hours and make things work for you. So I want to show you something, because what is the problem is that we think that we have a problem and we don't really have a problem. And I'm going to show you just by Cheryl's statement. Pay attention to what I'm going to do right now. Right here, Cheryl just put right there. We can restart. The problem is that we don't believe that we can. Now, Cheryl, right here, anyone else who's watching this, share this so somebody could get in a part of it, because we like to feed people here. We like to feed people here. We believe in feeding people. We believe in just the way my mama fed me, just the way they plant a seed or a grain and watch it grow. That is it. We like to plant a seed in you so you could grow as well. So what is happening right here with the problem? I'm going to show you. Let's flip this problem statement that Sharon just put up and go from here, go from the end. We have to see things from the end. As a result of the end, we are going to see, and we're going to bring it to the front. Right here, Sharon, right here. Let's work with this. We can. You see? Right here. What is the problem? The problem that we don't see the end result. And then we give up. So the problem is we can have solution. There is a solution because one problem equals to another problem and another equal to another one, and we multiply. But right here is where we are going to pause now with Cheryl's statement. We can. We can. When we see that we can, what is going to happen to that statement? Go, Cheryl, and everybody else who is watching this, pay attention to what happened to Cheryl's statement. I want you to look closely at the Cheryl. Cheryl, yes, I know that you are here. I want you to pay close attention to the statement that you put up right here. And tell me, what is it that you see there twice? For Cheryl and anybody else who is right here, anybody else who is in this live, right? And if you're not in the live and you're gonna watch this on replay, we're gonna find out the solution tonight because Cheryl just gave the answer. What is the problem? Cheryl put her statement up, and I want you to look at it. We can. And where's we can? We can at the end and we can at the front. Anybody see it? Grab it, put it in your bosom, put it in your bag, put it in your pocketbook, put it in your pocket. Use it because we can. So tonight we're going to ask the question. So what is the problem to the problem? So this is where we are going to close our episode tonight. Sharon, read over that same statement that I just gave you the answer. We can. Okay? And we, simply mean you and I, everybody working together. We can, and we can bring a solution to the problem. Because no, so what is the problem to the problem? The problem to the problem is that solution is there and nobody's giving it. So many people are limited. They said, think outside of the box. There is no box. So what is the problem to the problem? The problem to the problem is that don't add to the problem so the problem could get bigger. Good. Now that we got that clear, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Question Live Show with who? Your host, the one and only moi, Verona Willis-Brown. Thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's episode. Hope to see you tomorrow, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live.